ultimately the big problem that we've got, the reason we've got a stagnant economy and everything else, and a tax system that makes no bloody sense if you start from first principles, is because nobody ever has the bravery to take it on because of that loss aversion. And sometimes you just need to, because the consequences of not doing so are so much greater than the consequences of doing so. What I want to see from Rachel in the budget is, I think, and many of us have touched on this, is not just the difficult decisions, but that story for the future of their country, that hope that things can and will be better, a story that ties together all of the difficult decisions that we're making, budget or not budget aside, and says, but this is why. This is the place that we need to get Britain to. This is what we think has gone wrong. This is why we are doing this to fix it. And this is what the big prize is at the end if we stick with it. That's what I really want to hear from her in the budget. And just one other point on psychology. The less economic growth you have, the more zero sum everyone becomes. One of the reasons we're facing all of these, what most of us sort of reasonable centre ground politicians would say are difficult economic circumstances, is because everyone in the country, after nearly 2 decades of stagnation, has become more zero sum. They increasingly feel like the only way they can win is if somebody else loses. And a country with that kind of political culture is not going to end up in a good space politically. So the best way of getting out of that, the best way of moving back to a political space, a political conversation that I believe in, that I want us to be operating within, is to bring British growth back to the economy. Because we know, I think most people in this room probably do not think that the economy is zero sum. I run the Labour Growth Group, which the premise of which is that it doesn't have to be zero sum, but the only way that we can prove that to the British public is by getting growth back to the British economy and making the difficult decisions that are going to be required to do so.